Well, there you have it. Can you believe it? The Brisbane Lions have gone back-to-back. They were the heavy underdogs coming into this game with Geelong having their stellar season that they already had. And the Brisbane Lions have gone against the odds and gone back-to-back. And what a grand final it was, might I say, for the first half. The second half was very, very disappointing as we just saw the Brisbane Lions absolutely dominate and show what a class team that they are. Today I'm going to review all the grand final, including the grand final entertainment, and then go over. There's only been one trade news that has been announced since my last recording that I'm aware of at the moment. So without further ado, let's get into the grand final review. Right, so the grand final review started off with Snoop Doggy Dogg entering the stage, and I thought he was brilliant. Has had some really, really good reviews. I know someone said that they would have preferred it be at night. Didn't look good in the day, but I thought he was really good. I love the way he got into the culture of AFL. Everywhere you go, he was carrying his footy. He even left a press conference afterwards and he goes, "Where's my footy? I need my footy." So I absolutely loved that. I loved that he had the marching band. Loved that he brought out Jessica Mowboy. And what I loved most, one of the most parts about it was, and I said this to my parents and they agreed as well, you can tell that he wasn't lip syncing and he wasn't using any auto-tune. He was just going word for word for all these songs, which was so impressive at his age. How old is Snoop Dogg? I believe I searched up. I want to say he's 53. Let's have a look. Yeah, 53. I knew I'd searched it up recently. Yes, 53, went word for word, and then went around, did a free concert at the the ESPY, got my E's wrong. And then did another one at Miss Collins, then did that, backed it up with another one Saturday night, then flew out to Sydney to do some other shows. So in other words, Snoop Dogg was just collecting the bag, and I absolutely love it. Got really behind it, and then had the jerseys of where they were from Geelong and Brisbane with the Snoop Dogg on it, and I just loved everything about it. I thought it was really good. I do understand the argument that it would have been better at night, but we're too busy comparing ourselves to the NFL halftime show. We will never be the Super Bowl halftime show. We don't have the money for that at all. We don't have the money, the cost, the funds, but it definitely went up this year with all the marching bands we saw on there. But I just don't think we will ever be that. But this is a great step in the right direction. Even if you weren't a fan of Snoop Dogg, there was a lot of people commenting saying you got to respect the way he got behind the culture, the energy he showed on stage. I thought it was brilliant. It was a cracking way to start the grand final. But for the grand final itself was really, really good first half. Went into halftime, 36 apiece. And it was the first time since, I think it was only the third time in history. And it was the first time since, I want to say it was either 1907 or 1909. I think it was 1909 that the grand final was a draw at the halftime break. But it was the Brisbane Lions by 47 points in the end, 18-14, 122, defeated Geelong 11-9-75. Dempsey kicked 4, and thank you, Ollie Dempsey. Backed him for first goal scorer, and did he deliver? I was very, very happy with that. And then they were just all single goal kickers down there. As for the Brisbane Lions, they had a lot of multiple goal kickers. They had Cameron, who, what a time to show up then in a grand final. Cameron really had the throttle on the motorbike going. He kicked 4. McCluggage ran off the tag, was brilliant, kicked 4. Bailey could have had an almost brilliant day. Could have had the norm in the bag. He kicked 3 goals, 6. Imagine if he kicked straight early. He was 0 goals, 4 at one point. But finished with 3 goals, and I thought, geez, there was an argument saying that he was technically best on ground early on, but we'll have discussing chat, mate. But you just can't reward 0 goals, 4. And then he kicked the 3 goals. I was like, hang on, he's back on here. It was out of 5 people who could have won the norm. McCluggage was definitely up there. Jasper Fletcher was up there. Zach Bailey was up there. And the winner also, Will Ashcroft as well. Lohman also kicked 2. As for disposals, Holmes had 30. I thought Holmes was really good. He was the best on the cap side. 33, a goal, 9 inside 50s, 2 goal assists, 8 score involvements, 5 clearances, and 9 to 7 metres gain. And while he didn't have the same impact, I thought he tried really hard. Bailey Smith, 29, 7 score involvements. And I want to give the props off to Bailey Smith, his Instagram story that night, saying congratulations to all, sharing a post of the Brisbane win the premiership. Congratulations to all the Brisbane Lion players. We're the better team on the day. This one's hurts, but bring on 2026. I thought that was really good for him because he didn't have to go and share that post. Most people would sit there and dread on it. I understand with the social media presence he's had, maybe they thought it was the right thing to do, but I thought that just shows, it showed a really good side of Bailey Smith and really opened up about some of his mental stuff pre-game if you're watching on Channel 7, which was really touching to see. But yeah, I thought that was a really good touch by Bailey Smith doing that. As for the Brisbane Lions, geez, this guy stands up in big games. Best on ground. Let me get the post up. So he's a back-to-back norm now. Let me just load it up because it was sent in our... Okay. So he was best on ground in the Napier League Grand Final for Sandringham Dragons. He was best on ground for Vic Metro, or is that AIS? One of them. And then Norm last year, Norm this year. Absolutely insane by Will Ashcroft. And he's only 21 in his third season. Crazy. And it was good to see that he got to share it with his brother Levi Ashcroft this time. Didn't have to have him jump the fence to come and join. He got to experience it on his field. It was something, not only you're always going to cherish a grand final forever, but you're going to cherish it sharing it with your brother. And here, I was sitting here thinking after it, I personally would think, let me know what you think about it. I think winning a Norm Smith on grand final day, best on ground, clears winning a Brownlow medal. That's my personal opinion. What do you play for? You play to win flags. And the Norm Smith illustrates that you were the best on ground player. You were the person who showed up on the big stage and delivered. So if it was me, after thought, I would have the Norm Smith on top of the Brownlow medal. Let me know what you think about that. But Ashcroft was enormous. 32 disposals, a goal, 10 clearances, 3 direct goal assists, 10 score involvements, 9 inside 50s, 8 score involvements, and 575 metres gained. Another young star, also in his third season. One of his mates, Jasper Fletcher, was enormous. 29, going at 83%, 8 marks and 8 score involvements. Really found a nice spot down there at half-back and loving the way he's developed, especially in the second half of this season. Zorko, 28 disposals at 86% efficiency, 8 marks, 8 rebound 50s, and 8 rebound 50s with 716 metres gain. McCluggage, as I mentioned, ran off the tag. Mullen kept into 14 disposals last time they played. This time he fired back with 26, 4 goals, 3 goal assists, 10 score onwards, 8 inside 50s, 6 tackles, 5 clearances, and 577 metres gain. Now, I want to see, I had a notification come through last night of how they voted the Norm Smith medal count. So I'm just going to pull that up because I'm actually quite interested to see how they did. I want to see if I can find it. So just give me 1 second. Here we go. Norm Smith medal. Here's how the votes were judged. So the full votes here. So Will Ashcroft, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2. So we got 3 of them. He was given best on ground with 13 votes. Then it was Harris Andrews, who was also really good. 11 intercept possessions. I believe 18 disposals. I'll just pull that up now, but it was definitely 11 or might have even been 13 intercept possessions. And might I say, full respect to Harris Andrews. I didn't realise his shoulders were that big. That sun, when he was doing the coin toss and the pre-game interview, was doing him wonders. That vein going down his shoulder was absolutely enormous. But if we go to Harris Andrews, here we go. Yes, so 18 disposals, 9 marks, 11 intercept possessions, 89% efficiency, and 89% efficiency. So he got the 6 votes, 3, 2, and 1. Zach Bailey got 5 votes, 2, 1, 1. 2, 1, 1, 1. Justin Fletcher got 3. He got a best on ground vote there. Dane Zorko got 2, and Hugh McCluggage got the 1. So that's how the Norm Smith voting went down. As for the games itself, Lockie Neal. I'm sorry, Chris Fagan. I'm sorry for ever doubting you. You are a genius playing him as the sub. Because when he came on, he was enormous and he had that moment. How often do you see Lachie Neale get the ball, have a bounce, run to about just inside 50 and finish off on the run like that? It was something special, and you could see how well he celebrated, that it meant so much to him after riding off his season at the end of the home and away. He even admitted, he made an Instagram post out there and saying, good luck to everyone. It's not the way the season, how we wanted to see it to end. Good luck to my boys. Hope they can go all the way. And then he's back. And he came in after halftime. This is how he finished. 17 disposals, a goal, 2 goal assists, 7 score rolls, and 7 clearances. Lachie Neale, you star. There is a reason you are a 2-time Brownlow medalist, but he just injects himself in the second half when the game was still on the line and just goes, see you later, Cats. I'll get you done at the stoppages and the centre clearances. 7 clearances, 4 centre clearances, 3 stoppage clearances as well. Had the goal, and he was absolutely enormous. I love that he got that moment. One thing that I can't say that it affected the game, but it affected the way he played in the end was Jeremy Cameron, and it has been later notified that he did break his arm with a collision with Patrick Dangerfield coming across in a marking contest. Paddy Dangerfield has said that in the moment, because they connected pretty much on their heads, he heard it crack. Courageous by Jezza to still play out the game. We could see how much pain he was in, heavily strapped arm, could barely move it. I thought he went down again at one point. They got him. He still pushed his way through. Was really courageous, but he just had no impact because he had no strength through that arm to get the arms up to mark that. So it's unfortunate for Jeremy Cameron because he could have been one that only needs a moment to just making sure the camera's going. Only needs a moment or two where he can kick a couple goals in the space of about 5 minutes and will the momentum back in the Geelong's favour. Because let's face it, the AFL is a game of momentum. Once you get that little kickstarter, anything can happen from there. Another player who played under injury cloud was Josh Dunkley. He went in with torn ligaments in his ankle, a grade 3 syndesmosis. He's a dog, an absolute dog to be able to play out like that. Like, I was sitting there wondering, Josh Dunkley's been a bit quiet, not quite the because he's had an exceptional final series, and I was like, Josh Dunkley's been a little more quiet than normal, but then we find out this, because, he only finished with 16 disposals, 5 tackles, and 3 clearances. I was like, oh, Dunkley's been a bit quiet. But now we know that he's played with that, and props off to Dunkley. That's huge. That's a huge effort. But I mentioned Zach Bailey could have had a serious day out if he kicked straight. Let's just go over his stats again. He would have had the norm in the bag, without a doubt. 23 disposals, 3 goals, 6, 5 clearances, and 5 tackles. Like, imagine if that read 23, and 9. Or even 23, 7 goals, 2. That's the norm in the bag. If he kicked 5 plus, he would have had the norm in the bag, without a doubt. I know McCluggage had 26 and 4, but I think if he had pushed that to 5 or 6 goals, he would have had it absolutely in the bag. But did well to bounce back after a rocky start. But geez, this Brisbane Lions team and Chris Fagan is really impressive. And they're building a dynasty here. That's back-to-back. And 3 times in a row that they've been in the grand final, obviously losing to Collingwood in 2023. They had Jonathan Brown present them the Premiership Cup, and he was involved in his own dynasty where they went on a three-peat 01, 02, 03. They could be doing something similar than the last three-peat we had was obviously Hawthorn 13, 14, 15. They're going to be dangerous coming in. They've got 6 players under the age of 22 still. So obviously you got the Ashcroft brothers, you got Fletcher, you got Logan Morris, you got Lohman, and Darcy Wilmot. So there's 6 under the age of 22. And how good is Darcy Wilmot being elite celebration too? You always know he's going to deliver. But not only that, they're adding in Joe Danaher. I keep saying Joe Danaher because they're both from Essendon. They're adding in Sam Draper to come in as that ruck. Because it was good to see Big O get his medallion, but it looks like his body's just about cooked at the age of 31. So Sam Draper coming in to play that number 1 rock role will be really influential for them. He's a bit of a erratic wild card, just throws himself around and has a go. But Darcy thought this final series was exceptional in my opinion. 45 hitouts in the day, that's elite. Against Blitzarver only had the 28, and obviously Reece Stanley was subbed out. Honestly, what's he now? 34. I'm calling it. Reece Stanley's done. He's been done for a few years now. He's just At 34 years old, he couldn't have any impact on the game. I questioned why they brought. I know why they brought him in, but I personally wouldn't have done it. I think he might very well be done. That's just my personal opinion, though. But this Brisbane Lions team is very much scary. Now, another player that might be coming over that was flirted, but it reckons he's staying now after meeting with the new head of high performance, was Jordan Ridley. Would have been an elite addition to that already good backline. But it looks like at the moment he's staying at Essendon, but there's still plenty to play out. Speaking of trades, there has been one today. And it is Judd McVie, who requested a trade to the Fremantle Dockers from Melbourne. Big rats on Judd McVie. I want to say he's 20 or 21. Let me just double check that. Defender who could push up as a midfield player as well. We just load up Judd McVie. Okay, 22. As a defender, being rock solid down there for Melbourne, gets plenty of the ball, can lock down, can intercept, uses the ball really well, but could also push up high up the ground. If Fremantle add Judd McVie, there is no excuse to them not finishing top 4 and playing a prelim next year. Listen to that back line. Listen to some of the young players. Jackson, Young. You can go as like to say Sarong, Brayshaw. You add McVie in there. Jordan Clark, who got his maiden All-Australian jacket. Obviously, one's missing there. Michael Frederick was really impressive. Who else am I missing? Josh Tracy, Patrick. I'm willing to say Patrick Amos, but it's been a while since Fremantle have played that I've even forgotten who their players are. But Patrick Voss, Josh Tracy, Jai Amos down in the forward line. I really liked Isaiah Dudley, just gives a little bit of different spark down there. So there is no reason if McVie gets across that they should not be playing top 4 and aiming for a prelim at the bare minimum. Well, thank you guys for listening and watching along. That is a wrap for the AFL season. Again, congratulations to the Brisbane Lions going back-to-back. Could very well be forming a dynasty here. 2 out of 3 grand finals out of the last 3. But while the season is over, we're getting now to the trade period. This is where we get all the juicy information, players wanting in, players wanting out, and we hear the clubs bicker and fight over how it gets done. But let's face it, it's all rumours. And then on that last day, shit hits the fan. That's what usually happens. But I'll be keeping you up to date with all the news as it comes along. So thank you guys for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to leave a like and comment on this video. Hit that subscribe button. Turn the notification bell on so you don't miss whenever we upload. If you listen to this via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave a like and comment. Hit that follow button. Turn the notification bell on so you don't miss whenever we upload. Share this off to a mate who you think might enjoy this. And please, guys, remember to leave a 5-star rating if you did watch this show to keep pushing this show out there. Thank you guys for listening. And until next time, I'll see you guys then.